and welcome to the Holy Hour podcast, the All Cure bi-weekly podcast. Welcome. We got a real special show for you guys. I'm joined by Donald and Chaz and our new best buddy, Erik, man. How's it going, Erik?
Hey, good to meet you.
What's up, Erik?
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We've been chatting for a bit now, and been dying to get you on the show here. So thank you for making time for us tonight.
Yeah, thanks. It's great.
Hey,
It means a lot. It's really sweet.
You guys
That's
out there might recognize Erik from the 17 Seconds Other Perspectives episode fairly recently, where
I forgot
you contributed. Yeah, so thanks so much, man. And I'm not sure if we had any write-ins or other ones before that you had sent our way or not. It's all blurring together now, but
just a few tidbits on like Instagram and stuff, but nothing formal.
Yeah, you've actually inspired quite a few episodes too, just from clips you've sent me or something. I think the demos one, even when I recorded that one, it was all because we'd been talking about demos back and forth in an email, and then I grabbed my buddy here in town and did the demos one. You were the one that tipped me onto the glove. I don't even know if I ever officially broke that news to Donald, that the reissue glove re-records, that you discovered.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty heartbreaking. So
They re-recorded that stuff?
Yeah, Robert redid the vocals in the 2000s for those demos, man. So I was kind of
why?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds great, but at the same time, it does sound like a little more modern than you would think from 1980.
Just don't call it a demo,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's literally not a fucking demo.
Yeah.
Right, dude.
So
The glove remixes.
yeah. So anyway, so
Let's call it what it is.
So Erik ruined that for me. So thanks, Erik.
Anytime.
Thanks, dude.
What else do you want me to break down?
But yeah, man, I hope everyone's doing all right out there. This is a somewhat strange episode, so thanks for being on board. We're going to talk about the song Faith tonight, and we've never done a non-single song feature, and it's kind of heavy times, heavy song. So I feel like it's one of those sitcoms where we say, and on a very special episode of the Holy Hour podcast, and then they get into the divorce episode or something, but
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, it's gonna get heavy, but
It's like an after school special,
Yeah, totally.
Right.
So,
The Mr. Hurley episode on Different Strokes.
Yeah,
The bike salesman.
It's like, ooh, it's wow, they're going there. Jeez.
As I get older, the more I realize, the name Different Strokes for a show is pretty fucking hardcore. All right. Wait, what are you guys talking about now?
Hey, different strokes.
What do you mean by that? It's weird.
So yeah, that's and
They
the
rule the
obvious
world. Different Strokes rule the world.
And looking ahead to the obvious gloom on the horizon, this will be, if I stick to the schedule, this will be the episode that comes out the week of our U.S. election here in the...
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, so we figured Faith would be a very fitting song to talk about. No matter the outcome, we'll see how appropriate this is or not. But we started before we were recording asking Erik what kind of couch situation he has up there, or what their immigration policies are in Canada at the moment.
We're building the wall higher and higher.
Yeah.
Nice.
Don't blame you. So,
Hey, can I come visit?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What kind of couch situation you got, man?
I was just watching Children of Men before we came on.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just like, fuck.
We're all in the right.
Everybody's gonna go infertile in 2021, and
Yeah.
it's just gonna hellscape.
That's right.
Yeah, it seems inevitable. so that's part of the choice. I was like, well, why not do Faith this one? That'd be perfect. And so
Holy shit.
But I guess before we totally dive into that doom and gloom, then Erik, real quick, what's your Cure story? We'll save your official long version origin story for another time. But when did you get into the Cure, and what was the scenario?
What's your deal, man?
Yeah, what's your Cure deal?
Why is he here anyway?
Yeah.
Be honest.
Yeah. So I guess I started in high school mainly. So that goes back to 86 would be like my grade 9.
Okay.
And yeah. And I'm like, a few other origin stories where there's I didn't have a lot of musical influence in the house before,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, just no older siblings, no parents bringing a lot of music. So going into high school was kind of like blank slate kind of for me.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So I remember tapping into Standing on a Beach, the cassette.
Yeah.
I think it was around grade 9. And I actually I got it for like a totally uncool reason, which is that one of the cool guys in the school, actually, I'd seen him a few years previous with this like skateboarding magazine.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
And we were just looking over it, and it must have been like 85, 86, because I remember seeing like an ad for Head on the Door in the magazine. And at the time he was like, the guy to emulate. So he was talking about the band. I had no idea what he was talking about. And then, you just fast forward. Anyway, so then in high school, I picked up the Standing on the Beach just to get like a good sampling, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that started like, kind of a exploration at that point. But so that's 86, 87, something like that.
I don't know.
But it wasn't till 89 till it hit hard. And of course, Disintegration coming out, that was just like bonkers. Like that would definitely be the album that would change how I listen to music completely.
Right. Sealed the deal in there.
Yeah. So exactly. So that hit hard. That's the first time I pick up something and I'm listening to it like through and through twice a day for like months,
Right.
It's like, falling asleep to it, all that kind of stuff. So
Totally
obsessive, and then eventually going through the back catalog. So basically, like I was kind of like a casual fan until 89, and then deep,
Right.
deep after that.
Awesome.
So I mean, as far as the song Faith, I don't think I'd heard it before that. I think I only caught up to Faith, the album, afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because when you listen to Standing on the Beach, like you don't really get a sense of what Faith, the album's like.
Right.
Because you only get Primary, which is kind of the odd one out on this. It's like the jumpiest track, right?
Right.
So, yeah. And then I think it was B-side, which has Faith Live on it, and that was like a whole other eye opener. It's like, what?
Right.
Because that's like one of their long live versions.
Yeah. It's
super gloomy.
Hey, do you guys, Chaz and Don, remember first impression of Faith the song?
Yeah, it was on a cassette, or it was like the dual cassette one that had Faith and Carnage Visors.
Yeah.
And that was my first exposure to it. It was just like, oh shit, a Cure thing with like 2 Cure ones? Like 2 Cure albums? Like,
it was like 2 for 1 deal.
Yeah, I was like, hell yeah. Like, fucking cheap as shit. It's like, I have $5. And it was just like, holy fuck. And I was like a kid. Like, I was like in fucking middle school. And it was just like, God damn it. Like, what is this? It was really hard to process. Like, as like a grown ass man, it's still hard to like wrap my head around like the concept of faith. You know what I mean? Like it's only gotten deeper, and it's a lot for a little kid.
Yeah,
like just be like, what's this?
Hold on.
Like, what's this band? What do they do? And then you find out like You know, it's like meeting a person, and you kind of have like that surface, like, "Hey, what's up?" And then like you get to know them a little bit, and it's like, "Oh, you're fucked up like everyone else."
You got a lot going on here.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine Faith having a bad first impression on any kind of Cure fan, like going into it, like, even if you're just kind of like, whoa, okay. Like I probably was at the time. I was like, this is awesome, but it didn't like blow me away as like my new favorite song probably. But at the same time, it was like, like, yes, this is so emotional and dark, and just like, okay, I'll come back to this, and you just keep coming back to it. But at the same time, I can't imagine anybody being like, boring, fast forward, or something.
Right.
It's like, So, do you remember, Chaz, when you were backtracking for the albums?
It was probably when I bought.
I was at spring break.
Yeah.
In Fort Lauderdale and
Daytona Beach
shooters.
Probably when I was when I was going through that like first initial gotta buy every Cure record I find sort of thing. And the only thing I do remember about that album the first time I listened to it was like, I can't really go here right now, sort of thing.
Totally.
Like I can do it for 17 seconds, and for Pornography, it's just when it comes to that album, I really need to be in a really bad place, and it's usually not good when I'm like just feasting on that album. So, but there's a couple of them that I have in my pocket that I go to when I'm that depressed.
Yeah.
But I can say that song is probably one of the best concert experiences I've ever had. Like when I saw them play that at in New York during the Reflections tour, and that was the last song that they played off that night before the encores. And it just like it just oh my god, it's not like if you like it sucked everything out of the room, like in a good way, but like like I didn't really want to get up and start listening to The Walk or anything like that. I was just
you
like,
pretty much have to end on it. At least end the
it's
first
so
part.
it's so weird when they put it in their live set, because it's like, what do you come back with after, right? So
It's
you gotta do another
rough.
encore.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You gotta put it at the end or the end of everything. So.
It's like you end with that narrative or whatever, or like that emotion, and then like play close to. I don't know. Like what do you play after that? Like it's a biggie. Like.
Well, we had talked about having like a dark Cure concert set list.
Yeah.
And that would definitely be like probably one of the last songs that you're gonna play, if not open it with it.
Yeah.
So, but I would see that like right at the end, like send everybody home like just emotionally wrecked.
Yeah.
Thinking about think about what you just did. Think about what you just experienced. Like,
Well,
it's just like,
funny.
oh fuck.
It's funny that we all pretty much mentioned how the live one kind of put the hook in more for us as far as the song, which is weird with like a, super slow, sad, depressing song like that. You would think like the nuances of the studio recording would be what really sell you on it, but it is odd because I even remember like I'd seen In Orange before I even wanted to admit I liked The Cure. My friend was playing it, and we just watched it a few times and stuff. And I can't remember. That was probably the first time I saw it in passing. But then, then backtracking and buying all the albums, I liked Faith a lot and stuff. But the one that I remember, like, super earliest memory of, like, really absorbing Faith was on In Orange still. And there's something about that performance where it's just, like, with the smoke going and stuff, and it's just really like just heavy, and like they got the two keyboards going, and just like that one still. Even when I was trying to listen to as many live versions for this as possible, I went back and I was like, yeah, that was the one, man. That one's like, everybody kind of had their favorite version of Faith online when you dig around and stuff, but I don't know. I have like distinct memories as a kid being like, whoa, that's so cool. That's like in the middle of the show and they're doing that,
Yeah, it's killer.
It's almost, it's kind of like on the same level for me with Plain Song. Like I love that song, but it didn't really hit me until I heard it actually live, like how utterly amazing that song is.
Yeah.
And then like when I heard Faith, I mean, but like it didn't hit the same, like on a CD or a vinyl as it did live.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing. And like I throw Shake Dog Shake in with that just because it was a track that I liked, but it didn't really get to me until I saw it live. So.
You know, it's not a spoiler to say that it's the downer song. You know, there's a lot going on, but it's not just like a sad song, and it's not just like a breakup song. You know what I mean? That's the cool thing. Like so many, you know, Robert Smith songs, it was like that is the genius. Is like you can kind of get it to be whatever you want it to be or need it to be. You know, it's literal but super vague at the same time too. You know,
it's like if your parents were like go stand in the corner and think about what you did or whatever.
right.
It's like the song equivalent of that, where you're just like, what do I have faith in? What did I do? Like, why do I feel bad? And it's like, I'll just stand here, and it like ends on such like.
You're like, is it because of religion, or is it because of inevitable
Catholic
death
guilt going on or something?
Yeah, you're like sitting in the corner, and you're like 8, and like, is there a God?
Relationship.
Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
So yeah, it doesn't.
Do you think that this is the most depressing song on the album?
Yeah, I did a. Sorry to jump
Just
in,
because
but,
it comes last, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I even did an episode when my dad passed away in 2016. I was all like, I recorded a whole episode and didn't even release it because it was too whatever, you know. But at the same time, I did like the most depressing countdown kind of song, and like I definitely had this as number one because of the reasons like we're saying. It's like because there's so much more going on. It's not just a breakup song, you know. I mean, it can be if you want it to be, but at the same time, you can tell it's a little bit more like than like just Same Deep Water as You even or something was my close second, you know. But like so I think it's like the saddest Cure song, really. I had it as like the most depressing because it's so many levels of everything. It's not just a bad breakup or something, you know. You can tell that there's more going on, but yeah, I think it's
I listened to the whole album today, and like if it didn't come last, I don't know if I'd consider it the saddest one. Funeral Parties up there, and
I was thinking Funeral Party.
Yeah.
All Cats Are Gray. Like I don't really like. I'm just like, damn, this whole album's just like. But then you have Prime. Like I know we're not talking about the album, but like I'm just like commenting on like the album as a whole with that song wrapped into it. I don't know if that's like it's such a bummer song, but it's like there's. That whole album it's like
it's pretty bleak, the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
But it's funny
I've listened to I haven't listened to this album in like 6 or 7 months. Like I tried listening to it like early pandemic or whatever, like March or April or something. It was just like it stopped and I was like, that's a lot. You know, kind of like it's hard for me to like make it all the way through, and it's like my favorite Cure record. And I listened to it today like front to back, and it was just like like, you know, I was just reminded like why I haven't like sat down with it.
It's like a weighted blanket.
Yeah. It was just like, God damn it. And, like,
and it just keeps getting heavier and heavier.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's funny. You said that, Chaz, because like Robert Smith has been like quoted saying he wanted to end the album on a like somewhat optimistic note, and that's why. Okay. So there's like a slight sliver of hope and faith. That's why he thinks it's like you know.
Then why do I feel so hopeless?
Yeah, right. And then it's like, well, how much? Because it's saying like there's nothing left but faith, you know. And it's all like, but obviously that's not too fucking British, much at that point.
That's British humor right there.
Yeah,
but it's literally like smiling at someone and telling them like the worst news of their life.
Right. It's like, well,
that British politeness.
Like, you have cancer, and they're smiling the whole time. Like, that's what faith is. It's just like it's supposed to be optimistic at the end. Like, what?
No way.
It doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's like what you were saying, Chaz. It doesn't fit anywhere else than at the end. Yeah. Because to me, it's, well, first of all, it's longest, I think, right? And then
Yeah.
Secondly, to me, it's like thematically, it's kind of like the wrap up to everything else that's been said on the album already, right? Like,
absolutely.
Like the opener is Holy Hour, which is kind of throwaway to me, but you know,
Hey,
it's
bud.
Do you know what podcast
Especially
you're
the
on?
podcast.
it's more like a superficial of not fitting into like the religious type of faith, right?
Yeah.
And then the rest of the album's all about like not fitting into society and, you know, isolation and despair and stuff. And then at the end, it's like there's nothing left but faith, right? So it's like you got like it's kind of like thematically the closer on, you know, all the like funerals and crowds where you don't fit in of 8 million people and feeling alone and all that stuff, right? And
like,
then
what you have left.
Even like Drowning Man is like, you know, I wish it was all true. I wish it couldn't be a story, that kind of stuff. But in the end, it's like he comes face to face with it, and there's nothing left but faith. Like it doesn't go anywhere else. It has to end there, right?
Right.
Do you
like when you literally have nothing left, and all you have is just trying to believe, you know? So yeah.
Erik, like, do you feel like is it like a faith in yourself or a faith in religion? Like, because I feel like there's a bit of a blur there, like however like one wants to take it, like.
Yeah, I think it could be lots of things, right? Because there's a few like really obscure lyrics in the song that are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, thematically, I think it's faith in people and faith in, well, I think partly religion, right? Because of the album, but I think it's a lot about just faith in your own sense of purpose, right? So
That's how I take it. I don't really take it as faith in anybody else, but because he's talking about just losing faith and, you know, everything's just crumbling. So all he has to do is have faith in himself that he'll get through it.
Because it seemed like he's lost faith already in people. You know, is how I took it. Is like you definitely at that point. There's so many lines like no one lifts their hands and eyes and empty words, ideals of perfection. You know, just like. The idea of like mountains never move because faith is supposed to move mountains, you know, like that kind of thing.
It's very religious, right?
Yeah, so it's like
it's more personal than like religious, I think. Like,
yeah, I never took it as I know it has religious connotations, but and I think a lot of the album does, but I just think it does just because a lot of it focuses on death.
Yeah,
right. That kind of for a lot of people that goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
But I mean. Other than symbolism, I don't take it as him having any like love for religion at all.
Right. Like
I think he wishes he did.
Yeah. No. Right. I completely get that. Yeah, absolutely.
Because like, you know, when he says like "catch me if I fall," you know, it's like who's he talking? Who's he talking to? You
like
know?
who's going to catch you?
Jesus
I think he's
Christ.
talking to that person who's not there, right?
Like he's talking to himself. Like just uses like a backdrop of like societal standards and like how you should feel and like how you're supposed to feel, and it's like this is not how I feel. You know.
Well, it's all like they all grew up with it, you know. I mean, I don't know
definitely.
Where you guys all stand specifically, but I mean, I think that's part of it too. Is that it's there whether he likes it or not. It, you know, he grew up Catholic, you know, and it's just like I'm sure he probably, you know, had questioned or left it before recording Faith, you know, at that point. But at the same time, I think it is tackles in that idea a lot.
It's totally like that's something I wanted to ask you, Erik, like. Because, like, I didn't grow up religious at all. Did you grow up religious, like, in the church or whatever? Or like,
sort of nominally, you know, but not, by the time high school came around, definitely no.
Yeah.
Just like dabbled, but not dabbled, but not immersed in it.
Yeah. It's more something I came back to actually later on in my life, but
really,
yeah. It's interesting how like he was saying he wanted this to be optimistic, you know, because it's such a devastating song the way it ends like that. But then I think there's some live versions where he doesn't end on "there's nothing left but faith." He just ends on "there's nothing left," And when he sings it that way, it just kills me. It's
Yeah.
there's nothing
Like, there's
left.
not
Like
even
don't
faith
leave me
anymore.
there.
Yeah.
Like there's not even the faith, like the one hopeful thing.
It's just,
Exactly.
yeah, there's just literally nothing left.
Yeah, yeah. The stretch where he was singing it that way, I hated it.
Really quick, I just wanted to go back to the religion aspect of like, as somebody like raised in the church and like went to church like forcibly from 4 years old until I was probably about 17 or so. It's a real mind fuck like when you get out of that and you're trying to deal with the world and deal with sense of community like after that's been your world and community for so long. Right. And like trying to find like especially in that age group that he's in right now where you're supposed to have religion and you're supposed to be part of like a church or community and you're rejecting all that but everybody else around you isn't. It's a really bad place to be in like as that you put your kids in at a certain age, if you built that around their life to be like that. And I know the British culture is more like stoic and it is a part of the British way of life of being part of a religion, whether it's Catholicism if you're Irish or, Protestant if you're English. And it's a rough navigation. So I definitely see that as a part of his struggle as well as the rest of the band trying to break out and be adults on their own.
I think so too.
Because he was like 20, when he wrote this, he's about 20, right? So I think like 21 maybe when it came out. And I mean, that's totally around that age, 17 through 20-ish where you, if not questioning it, then fully abandon or come back, you know what I mean? Or discover, whatever your situation is. But I mean, and just from there, history stuff with like Lowell's mom becoming, terminally ill around that time. And his grandma that he was apparently pretty close with passed away right before this. I mean, totally makes sense that he's kind of bundling all that into the emotions there. And
motherfucker nailed it.
That's
absolutely.
like God damn, he really fucking nailed that perspective.
I think that's how I was emailing you to you, Eric, at one point. It was just like writing a song like that. I mean, I guess a lot of bands do it when I think about it in hindsight of like a 20-year-old. Like now, being an older dude, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about what any kid singer has to say about anything. Like I'm a little like, who cares? He's like an 18-year-old. What could they possibly have to say that I could identify with? So I mean, like, part of me's still in awe that he could write a song this mature for like a 20-year-old. I mean, it's like, geez, this is like,
crazy.
So,
exactly.
Like the concept of faith, like that's a fucker, man. There's been like 100 years of 100 Russian writers writing about like the concept of faith throughout the years. Like it's been tread upon the concept.
He's like, well, I'm 20 now. I think I should tackle this, lay this to rest.
It's bold and it shows. It's like
I handled being a stalker in my previous album, so
we've covered
but
that.
But it really shows.
No wonder they left the heavy songs for some pop stuff after a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I've covered all of humanity's problems. Now let's go to bed. So.
Totally, man.
We've said that at some point. It's like, because coming like pornography next, then you can't like then go back and do an album like Faith after that. It's like we're just gonna bounce it back and forth between like like Faith type albums and pornography. It's like, no, man, you're done. You gotta go to Love Cats at that point.
I know, because like pornography was total like a double down on that shit.
Yeah,
it's like. I feel like we talked about this before, but like I feel like those records are like the same, like two sides of the same coin,
Yes.
Like it's a reflection in the mirror. Like faith, like pornography is a reflection of faith, looking at itself in the mirror
and getting angry.
It's
yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's like.
Why am I so fat?
Yeah. Totally. I think it'd be a good place for a few quotes that might further flatten out what we're thinking. Robert Smith said, I was 21, but I felt really old. I had absolutely no hope for the future.
Uh-huh.
I felt like life was pointless. I had no faith in anything. I just didn't think there was much point continuing with life.
Wow, that's 39 for me.
No.
I'm still going through that. What?
Yeah. It's like 20, man. What the hell?
I know. Like, I'm an old ass man, and I'm like,
Someone speculated online. I didn't even jot down where the hell that rabbit hole went, but somebody connected it, like maybe a bigger cause connected to Ian Curtis, and like with his suicide, like Robert felt like he didn't feel like that was an option, you know? So like he felt like a lot of that is leaning in that kind of talk and direction for sure, but at the same time, that's what a song like this would be about, where it's like continuing on, knowing that you can't give up, but at the same time, you know, what's the point kind of thing. And so yeah, he said
that's got to be a mind fuck too, of like your contemporary, you know, who's on the upswing just like you are, you know, killed himself before going on a humongous tour, you know, of the U.S. and like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what am I, you know, like, where am I
like,
at?
I'm going to go tour the U.S.
Yeah. He's like, I'll just tour the U.S. and see where that goes.
Yeah, you can kill myself too.
Then I'll decide. But yeah, that's and then kind of in that vein too, another quote said, I'd think about death and I'd look at people in the church, and I knew that they were all there above all because they wanted eternity. I realized I had no faith at all, and I was scared.
I thought he'd finish up the quote with like, "Who the fuck would want
Like,
eternity?"
something bleak like that.
I thought he was going there too. Yeah.
And then this one came. He said, I don't think I'll ever write a song that'll ever move me as much as faith. That'll change my life as much as that song did, or encapsulates a period of my life as well as that one does. So
fuck yeah.
So definitely,
that's a song to do it. That's a song to do it. Like,
it's interesting. It's interesting that he says that it changed him. Like, you know, I'm not a musician, but like, is there something about the creative process where you make something and then it changes you? I'm just trying to understand that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I'd say so. Especially with songwriting, I think you feel like you've kind of put something in a box, like an emotion that you were able to kind of put a harness on in a sense, and you know that it's there and whatever.
just like
you know what
rain,
I mean?
like rain in like a herd of things, you know, of like emotions or like thoughts, and just like wrangle them into like an enclosure. Just like, all right, here's a song now, and it could be a million things.
Huh.
Yeah.
So they've only played the song "Faith" 288 times.
Yeah.
Live.
It's crazy. Isn't it?
116 of those times were in 1981.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
so since 1980, since that tour, they've only played it like 180 some odd times.
Yeah, it's
live,
nuts.
which makes me either think that I think Robert loves that song, but I just think maybe it takes too much out of him.
Yeah.
To play it. So I mean,
did you happen to notice too that the next follow-ups of how many? It was 42 times in '89 during the Prayer tour, and then 32 times in 2000 during Blood Flowers tour when they were playing all that dark, you know, sets.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was definitely like during dark times. I mean, you can't really plug that in. Otherwise, it was like less than 14 a year, pretty much. You know.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount that they don't play that song. But I kind of understand it. But at the same time, it's like
That
Well, you can't whip it out at a festival, you know.
Yeah.
yes, you can.
Hey, you guys feeling
we've
groovy
had
right now?
get the beach balls ready. We've had that discussion before of like that we would love to have it played at like a festival.
Oh hell yeah!
And just like I mean, oh my god, that'd
and
be
just
awesome.
how rad would that be as a band? Like, especially a band like them, they could, you know, get really cheeky quick, you know, or if they just anything starts pissing you off, then the slightest, you could just be like, Faith, and then like all your fans would go nuts, but like everybody else would be like, what the fuck is this, like 10-minute long song,
I feel fucked up.
You just like destroy the atmosphere so quick with it.
And then they go into like to wish impossible things, and
totally.
I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, anytime they did play it pretty much after Faith, I guess it was always like in a block of an encore where it was like a little Faith encore kind of thing, and
it was like every time I've seen it live, it's been like a chunk. Like I'm just like, here's our stuff from this time, and it's gonna be a little dark, and
totally. Well, I guess speaking of live stuff, there's a lot of cool clips out there, like we were saying, where everybody tends to have their favorite live clip or not, and then just some ones worth noting. But it was weird where I always kind of associated the ad-lib improv kind of things that he does, where he just starts adding words onto the end of the songs and singing. That tended to be something I always thought more in the like Forever with a Forest kind of style thing. But really, when you listen to all these live ones of like Faith, it's like most of them he does that on, where he just has like some freak out improv verse at the end where he just starts like saying whatever the hell's coming to him, and it's pretty cool.
Starts scatting.
Yeah. Luckily he keeps it in the vein. He doesn't just
and he knows it.
But there's some really cool ones with that, like and he did it all the way back to old ones, all the way up to like that 2005 festival one they did it on. And Erik had sent me a couple links that got that rabbit hole going for sure. So that was kind of cool. And then you sent that web page, the Foolish Arrangement thing. You want to tell him about that? It was cool. I didn't get a chance to tell him about that yet, but hey, go ahead and tell him what the hell that's all about.
Actually, it's just because for the longest time I was just obsessed with those longer versions of Forest and Faith. Well, initially Forest, but then Faith too. So just trying to collect, before pre-internet, I guess, but just trying to collect a whole bunch of live versions and stuff. And especially the extended lyrics, like that just fascinates me. I guess it was, again, that B-side of Charlotte. Sometimes it was like, what, you can do this to a song, you could make it 11 minutes and just ad-lib stuff, like that's crazy. But I like, I'm always a lyric guy, and I was always trying to make out his words, and I don't know, it's always a bit mumbly and British, but anyway, I did find that this page called A Foolish Arrangement, it's not a new page. Like, I think it was running in early 2000s maybe. And there's a whole section on this woman wrote down, transcribed as many additional lyrics as she could to Faith. So there's like
just to Faith.
It's like a whole page of
I think there's like easily 100 different versions here where she's written out all of the lyrics, and it's crazy. Like, it's interesting, because through the years he's kind of gone through different themes of what he'll sing about, ad-libbing, and a lot of them repeat, but then there's a lot of other themes, and they're not necessarily like directly linked to like what we were talking about before, religious or anything. A lot of it is just like relationships, and I don't know. Anyway, just fascinating. So it's a great webpage, afoolisharrangement.com.
It's a gold mine for songwriters too. I'm gonna totally like pluck so many lines out of those. I'm like, he's not using those, man. Those aren't. I'm gonna steal so many of those lines.
And she's got the times too, so it's kind of cool to see, like, there's a few versions in 89, like it's almost 17 minutes long,
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
There was a couple really awesome. It was like the Wembley 89 night 3 I jotted down, where he starts going, and then in the middle of it he starts doing the lyrics to Too Late, even, like, which I initially was like, oh sweet, and I was like, well wait, Too Late was already out and recorded by that point. So it's really weird that he was just like plucking a B-sides lyrics and putting them in there too. So that was a cool little breakdown.
That's fucking sick. And I love that, like, being malleable, like being able to like be malleable with like something you make,
Yeah.
It's like, because it's his song, you can do whatever the fuck he wants with
Yeah.
it. It's like, make it 17 minutes and like bleed in like some lyrics from Too Late or whatever. Or just like
It's like I'm riffing, man.
yeah, it's like fuck yeah, you can.
That shit's
not
sick, man.
It's not just like any lyrics too. It's like the song's already passionate enough, but then I find the ad-lib parts are often even more passionate. Like obviously the Rome 1989 version is like probably the epitome of that, you know, where he's yelling about the situation in communist China. But it's
Jesus, it's freaking politics into it.
It's like the day of the Tiananmen Square massacre, and he has this whole like part where he just like starts screaming. It almost gets a little too like woke, like as far as enjoying listening to it, where he's all like, "Shut your fucking face!" and he's like screaming.
Yeah, like
it's like damn,
like the world is all fucked.
It's just like holy shit. But
we should be nice to each other. Shut the fuck up.
yeah, totally. But yeah, I mean, like you were saying with the music,
it's just so passionate.
Yeah, and even with the music, like it has like breakdowns and stuff where the music changes, right? And like it'll speed back up, and so it's pretty cool. It's not like he's just on drum loop and he's just programmed at that point, but they are really just playing off each other and adding more like passionate guitar parts and stuff too in there. So it's pretty rad. There was a weird thing on that Rome one, where somebody had commented, of course, a YouTube comment, so this could be total horseshit. I don't know, or what. Did you happen to see that? It was a guy, he says, "I'm Chinese. I never was a Cure fan, or I was never a Cure fan, and I really know nothing about them. Yet I just found this song, and it's banned on all music apps in my country."
Whoa.
I saw that too,
this was like from 2019 even. He said, "Having found this bootleg in his statement, I think I know the fucking reason. Thank you, Robert, for honoring some people that some guy tried so hard to wipe out in some bloody history. May God bless you and damn those who will never get the love." So
fucking faith,
but
man.
I mean, it's banned and but so
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if he just meant like that video of that bootleg is banned or like all of Faith like on anything. So
is it like off the album?
Yeah, who knows?
Like you just can't have faith in China. Like you just can't, like if you live in China, like you just can't have faith anymore.
Yeah,
I would probably say that they just have like some kind of program that goes through everything, and wherever China's mentioned,
they're just like
that it gets flagged, and then it gets
Yeah, I mean, if he just means the YouTube bootleg, I mean, shit, everything gets
I'm sure
banned and flagged on YouTube. Half of our episodes of the Holy Hour get flagged for something. But one last quick note on the live ones. Erik had also, which got to get the ball rolling on this topic and idea, was the clip you sent me from Barcelona, which was really cool, noteworthy mention there with the quote from Farewell Summer. So, So that was really rad. That you went down the rabbit hole of trying to find out what he was quoting before the song starts on this one. Basically,
it's also on the same webpage I mentioned, but that was a later discovery. I think I just found that like last year.
Yeah.
But the 89 Barcelona, he starts off the encore like he's reading a passage. Clearly, I've never seen him do that live, but he's clearly just reading a passage from a book, and it was hard to make it out, but I was able to put the pieces together, and it turns out it's from a book called Farewell Summer by Ray Bradbury. But like the words that he's reading, like the passage he's reading, is also very moving, and it's basically about how the end of summer is kind of symbolic for coming of age and getting old and loss of innocence and all that, so it kind of fits into the song. So he's very moved, reading
like a new moon, like
Stephen King did that with Different Seasons, where I believe the Body or Stand By Me, which the movie was written out of, was the summer portion of that book.
Okay.
So it's about the loss of innocence and becoming
Huh.
So.
That's cool. That's like that's the Cure's take on like summertime is faith. That's their Beach Boys record.
Yeah,
like
that and Last Day of Summer.
Just the most,
That felt so
it's
cold.
like God damn it. Like Like, you just ruined summer for me, guys. Like,
I had a section written down just for noting musically on Faith. It's like kind of a no-brainer, but at the same time, watching live clips and stuff before this, it's kind of blew my mind how much the whole song is basically just Simon's bass line and the drums, and then Robert plays his bass six on top of that. So it's only like when he's not singing, and then for the most part he just doesn't play guitar while he's singing. So he's kind of just doing like, you know, a variation of the scales up, you know, on the guitar part just in between. But then like the whole like bulk of the song is just like Simon's bass line through the whole thing, and
his vocal melodies.
Yeah, of course on that. But I mean, just for how sparse it is, but so heavy at the same time, you know, and even the keyboard part, it's like very meandering. It's not like a very set, you know. I almost wonder if they're even playing the same thing a lot of the times. It's just kind of like walking around with the chords on like 80s synth string sound, you know, and it just got a not totally like a distinct like da, 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 or anything. It's just got a atmosphere all over the place kind of thing. But
yeah, I think besides Disintegration, this is my favorite Simon bass album.
Yeah, there's some great ones on that. It's just so cool that it just
he holds that whole fucking record together, and especially the song.
Yeah,
I think the other part of this song, like sonically, is like why it's okay that it's so sparse.
Oh, the whole album's great. That's because it's so sparse.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think that was the difference between that and, like, Blood Flowers, where it's, like...
Yeah.
The minimalism is gone, and this shows that they can do it with just 3 people.
Exactly.
Do it well.
And it's like Reverb. Reverb is the 4th member of the Cure on the side. And they use it like, especially in Faith, where it's like it sounds like a fucking like a reverse reverb or something. Like where every drum hits like zhuck, zhuck, like every sound.
What does it do?
Like it builds up to it, but like reverb style, you know.
So it just.
I was gonna ask you guys about that. What is that sound? Like, I didn't know if that was
It's a
synth
reverse
effect, or is
reverb.
it a drum effect, or?
It's a reverse reverb. Like you can plug anything into a reverse reverb and make it sound like zhup. Like
it's a reverse of a reverse of a reverse.
Yeah, it's just like if you throw a coin in a well and it's like bloonk,
and it throws back.
Like you hear that initial impact, you know, but it's like the reverse of that would be like scoop. Like I don't know how do you make that sound with a coin in a well, but that's the trick of it, like, and that's the beauty, and it's like where they chose to do that. It's just like fuck yes, like you can do a lot with that, like Like that's literally the sound behind like My Bloody Valentine, like their guitars, you know, where it's just like, what's going on there? And it's just like a bunch of chaos, like reversed and thrown at your face, where it just like takes you, you know, it's like trick paintings or something, like where you look at it and it's like, where's the sailboat in this? Like I don't see it. It's like you have to relax your eyes.
It's like, well, I am, but I'm not seeing it.
But the bass line is so clear, you know. I mean, it's kind of like, it's not like My Bloody Valentine where it's like a huge wash over everything, you know. I mean, it's more like behind it, you know, and it's kind of cool, like where the production.
It kind of holds you. It's like a boat you can hold, like a piece of wood you can hold on to if you're floating in the ocean, you know.
Yeah.
Just like what makes sense? It's like this thing. Like
I saw Titanic. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the Titanic. This record is like the Titanic.
But I mean,
yeah, totally.
Yeah, Mike Hedges did great with it. This would be the one that kind of, I don't know what the hell, you know, they had their falling out in the sense where he wouldn't work with them on Pornography after this. But 17 Seconds in this, I mean, they're both just like awesome production in a sense that it's so like capturing these heavy, you know, vibes and atmosphere and everything, but at the same time it isn't that much going on, you know. And it's like you're saying with Blood Flowers, there's so much shit. If they did Faith now, there'd be like 12 acoustic guitars going, and there'd be like, you know, all kinds
like
of
strings,
brush drums,
12 string guitars.
Yeah, just like 20 like really precise keyboard tones going through, you know. It'd still be rad, but because it's such a good song. But something about this is just so genuine and like, You know, I think that's why it is like direct pull in your heart. You know, when you hear it, it's just like that. Oh, and you're just like, whoa, what the fuck? You know?
'Cause it captures the end of simplicity.
Yeah.
You know, because they were like very young men when they were making this record, and like, you know, it's like, does it get easier after you're like 20? It's like generally not.
Like generally things get like
It's
way
all
more fucked
downhill
up.
after that.
You know, and it's just like it's the end of fucking innocence. Like
I was just gonna say how clean it sounds too. Like I just love hearing this one, especially this track on with headphones.
Yeah.
yes.
Like I just find it just really opens up all the sounds between like the very few instruments. So yeah,
all those little nuances, the little nooks.
yeah,
and
it's just there's just so much space, you know. So
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking,
It's like-
just when you were saying that, Donald, I was thinking how like you end Faith with these lyrics, like nothing left but faith, and then you open the next song that they come up with, it doesn't matter if we all die.
Right.
It's kind of that.
Yeah. It's like
So much for the
shit.
dilemma.
But totally, it's like, we're all fucked.
Yeah.
I love going over that bridge when you're in that that state.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, everything's terrible. I just got to get to the next day, and as soon as you get to the next day, you're like, fuck it. Like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
How was your summer? Doesn't matter. It's like, okay.
Yeah, everybody,
So we're going here now.
everybody got to die.
Totally. Oh my god. Yeah.
It's really good, Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I was just gonna ask you guys. About the lyrics, though. Like some of the other songs on the album do have literary influences, and I was just wondering if you guys thought there was anything in there, because
yeah.
I find the lyrics a bit odd. Like I've never
Yeah.
really understood the clown part and the Christendom blood. Like I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
it's pretty dark. Like it's almost kind of madness, pornography style. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't
imagery.
understand how it fits with the song.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's so precise, but at the same time, you can adapt it to be whatever you want it to be. But I wouldn't rule out a literary thing too. But,
Yeah, I was gonna say when this first came up, I started looking at the lyrics and thinking I think there's two ways that I could go here, and one is very literal, like 'cause
Right.
he does talk about the party gets better and better, and lost forever in a happy crowd. I think that if I'm taking it literally, he's at a party, and there's somebody that he wants to be with, and he's watching her from across the room, and like every other guy that she's going to talk to is like just absolutely destroying him, and he's just like losing it. And I take it that way, and I think we've all been in that type of situation.
Yeah.
And then he's just being over dramatic with the lyrics and just like very passive aggressive kind of thing, and like but then I look at it from another point where it's like he's like on some really depressive shit right now. Like,
Mhm.
like I've been there and written, and some of the stuff that you come up with is really, really dark and depressing. And like I could see this as coming off as genuine and a very mature look at whatever's going on between him and somebody else, or just him and society as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I never really I guess I could look at it as a relationship kind of thing,
Yeah.
or I could just look at it just in life in general. So
Like how to interact and make sense of the world.
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah, I mean, the party could be, society or religion, you know what I mean? Yeah, like
absolutely.
we were saying at the top, where it could go broader, where it's all metaphor, it feels like a relationship at times, and then at other times it feels like he's taking on all of religion and all
but
of
you know
the
how
afterlife.
he likes his literal stuff though.
Yeah.
Like we've talked many times about and Donald always hates it. Like when he starts using, his lyrics as like literal. Like I went to a party and I walked around and yada yada yada,
Yeah.
So
Totally, dude.
I could take it both ways because he's done both.
Yeah.
So, and I think
That's why I like it. That's when I think they fucking like slay. Just like, because they can make like good busy songs, you know, like they're not my jam, but like they can make some good busy songs, and I like a broad brushstroke. You know, and that's what faith is. It really is.
And you
like,
start to see it going more into it's almost like a perfect bridge, like we're saying, into pornography from this, because he starts, the christened in blood kind of lines start sounding more like something you would hear on pornography, or almost, as up for how like kind of just soft and sweet in a lot of the sad elements of the other lyrics on Faith, like as it's starting to get a little harsher at this point, and it's starting to get, I don't know, maybe just on first glance, that's what I'm thinking. It feels like it is like going in the direction of pornography. So.
Yeah. I do love that lyric. The mountain never moves.
Yeah,
Jesus,
that's
Christ.
That's such a fucking good lyric. But then it's followed up with "Rape Me Like a Child," and I'm just like,
yeah, it's like, whoa. That's always like the one most disturbing lyric for sure. It's just like, whoa, just plopped right in there. It's just like, it's like, shit. I thought you were just sad at a party. What the fuck? Jesus.
Fucking hell.
That's a little rough.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna put that one on and I'm gonna blast that shit tonight. If I go to bed. It's like, nice.
You notice nobody makes any remixes of this one,
Yeah.
The Rape Me Like a Child
What did he just
remix.
say? Yeah, and I love the snarkiness of the party just gets better and better. That's like,
it's a great,
just like where it's just kind of this mumbly song until that point. It's just like, oh shit. So, yeah. Would you guys think it's the most depressing song then? Going back to our near the top discussion of where's this stand on your all-time depressing Cure list?
Erik, you go first, bud.
Definitely up there. I'm trying to think of a contender for something worse than worse than this. No, I think so. I mean, just despair. And I can't think of anything that's quite this low. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess maybe. Well, some of the stuff on pornography is pretty.
Yeah.
Maybe 100 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's in that league for sure. It's in that league for sure.
It's aggressive. Pornography is aggressive.
Yeah, that's an aggressive. I think I described it like those 3 albums. Like pornography is just like my angry depression, and like this one is like Faith is like more of my like suicidal depression, and then
like a little contemplative.
Yeah. 17 seconds is just like normal depression on a normal day.
Yeah.
Just looking out the window.
Yeah.
Faith is staying in bed all day, and then pornography's.
Just like I'm punching holes in walls.
Yeah. So what's your number one?
I broke a whole table.
What's your number one depressing song then, Chaz?
Oh, this is up there.
Even non-Cure, I want to know.
No, I won't go into that because we'll be here forever. I think, Strange Days always gets me on pornography. And then Same Deep Water as You. And, I'm like just that trifecta of like Same Deep Water as You, Prayers for Rain, and Disintegration. Like I don't know if I can get like that's just like I'm stuck in a hole kind of thing. So, but
Sinking's
it's
pretty
there.
close too. Yeah. Sinking, but it's got such a good fun bass line that it's hard to get too sad while you're listening.
Yeah, that the lyrics, yes, but that bass line, it's like yes, like I'm down with this.
Yeah, totally. So. Cool. Is it number one for you, Donald?
Probably all Cats Are Gray fucks me up.
Like, more than this one.
Yeah, just more than any other like Cure song. Like all Cats Are Gray just fucks me up. Like, I think it's the string, like keyboard string arrangement, just like Like that alone, I can listen to on a loop and just be like, and like it just like tugs at my fucking heartstrings so hard, and it's like, and then the lyrics come in, and it's just like, oh man, and just like double down, like from the top ropes, like that fucker gets me, like every fucking time.
Yeah, hard to argue that one too. So.
What about you there, Gav?
Yeah, I would have this as my number one. I think Same Deep
Really?
Flutter as You.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Same Deep Flutter as You would be like probably the more accessible depressed, because it seems like, I don't know, like the more kind of depressed I get would be more Same Deep Water as You. But this one, like I said, feels like it's taking on like the whole fucking world basically, you know, which is depressing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So,
easy.
Yeah.
But it's like religion and politics. It's all like, I mean, I'll probably be, the week that this comes out, I'll be listening to this song a lot probably, you know. So, but yeah,
I think
We're
that
all gonna die. This is the worst.
I think
we're
because
all
you have to
fucked.
go.
But go on.
I think because you have to go through that whole album to get to that song.
yeah,
It makes it more depressing compared to like Same Deep Water as You, where you have to go through some like, you know, you got to go through Pictures of You and like some like hits just to get to that
Yo.
song.
yeah.
Yo, that's a
was-
good
yeah.
point. Like, it
Yeah.
really sets it up. Like, and that's why Faith is like just the best fucking record altogether. Like, it really sets it up. It just like.
Should have come with a
Like
razor
it's-
blade or some sleeping pills.
This is the reward for making it to the end. Yeah, this is the big payoff to making it to the end.
Right.
Cool. Well, I guess we could wrap up on that note then. Any other final thoughts on this song? I think.
No, great topic though. It
It
was interesting to force myself to dive into this.
Yeah, I think we should start shining the light on some non-singles, you know? I think it's good to do these where we don't, you know, go on, you know, about
Yeah,
a specific song too often. So it's a good one. And in this whole year, like I said, it feels very appropriate and fitting. So, you know, hopefully that will pass and we can move on.
Hopefully we get to
Thank you
hear
very
it. Hopefully we
much,
get to hear
Erik.
it live one time.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they.
We should really just go on a really like coronavirus, like whatever, fuck it, like a holy hour tour, like do it now.
Yeah, I think this
Just
would be
do
a
a
great
live
time
tour.
to take this show on the
like
road.
half our
man.
country is doing.
Just
Yeah.
just fucking go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have faith. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. I mean, there's nothing left but faith. So fuck it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's quite ready for us yet, but
No.
but hopefully, like we said though, this alleged
I hope
new
you're wearing
album
a
is
mask,
supposed
Erik.
to be, yeah,
while we're recording this.
getting all crowded up from the U.S. just talking to us,
Yeah.
probably, you know. So, but yeah, hopefully we get to see this live when the world resumes, because the next album's supposed to be so
Right.
dark. You know, it seems like a good time
Yeah.
to throw it back into the set list. So I would love that, and hopefully we can all be miserable together in some field far away from the stage.
Right.
Just wave at each other like, "What's up, dude?"
Hey, it's a giant stadium. This is
Hey, we're in
fucking
a different
depressing.
bubble.
We'll probably still be stuck on a Zoom call.
What's that?
We'll probably still be stuck on a Zoom call.
Yeah, true. Cool. But thanks so much for joining us. I hope you come back sometime.
dude.
It'd be great to have you on again if you're
Yeah,
up for
absolutely.
Been great hanging out. Thanks for having me, actually.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Anytime.
Thanks for coming.
It's real sweet. I appreciate it. It's nice talking to you, man.
Yeah, you too.
And Donald Chaz, thanks so much for hanging in there as well.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Really quick, go out and vote. I don't know if that. If
It
you
might
heard
be
that
too
or
late
not.
by this point.
Well, if it wasn't, thank you for voting. We should record two different endings to this where we're really
Yeah.
happy,
I know.
and
I
then
have
another
no
one where
idea.
we're really sad.
You could
I
mean
don't know
the
if I can
next
go-
election. We're already we're prepared for the next one already. So,
Yeah.
so,
We're already fucked by.
What's your feeling like? Is there a lot of people turning out to vote this time
Oh,
around?
yeah.
or-
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. It's I'm
Like-
probably gonna say it's probably gonna be the biggest turnout, percentage wise and maybe numbers wise. That I can remember. Probably, I think the last one was the most, but that was like just because the population rose from 2008. So,
Yeah.
but 2008 I think was the high water mark at one point. So, but we will see. So, yeah.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Hope so.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't want to die yet.
I feel positive. You know, where like people are like, "Yo, this is some life or death shit." Like that's when people get like really like aware of their surrounding. So that's our country, man. Like everyone's really scared.
America, you would think.
There's nothing left but faith. But we'll let you go, Chaz.
All right,
Let you
thank you very much,
go.
guys.
And thanks so much.
Yeah, dude.
Take it easy. Talk hard. Thanks again, Eric.
It's good talking, bud.
All right, again, special thanks to Erik being an awesome sport and joining us in this somewhat somber conversation with Chaz and Donald and myself. So nice to have you on the show finally, Erik, and thanks to Donald and Chaz. And who knows now, quite a few weeks later, here we are. And I guess my idea of a pessimist is never disappointed. Worked out. Here we are, a few weeks after the election now, and maybe faith doesn't have to be the only Cure song we can listen to for the rest of the next 4 years or so. God damn, did we make that stressful. Everything but a car chase in that one. But to every rational person out there, it seems like it's a done deal. But as of putting the final touches on this episode, who knows what could still happen. But yeah, a little bit more hope than we thought. So maybe this is the optimistic ending that was intended for Faith to have. But otherwise, we still got a giant pandemic. I don't want to get into all the other negative stuff of 2020 here. So let's just be sigh of relief here for a few minutes and enjoy it. And thank you so much for listening. We got some great episodes around the bend here. We're going to start rounding out this year, believe it or not. It's already on the home stretch, which I'm sure most of you and myself are quite fine with. So let's wrap this fucker up. Let's wrap this episode up. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and or Apple Podcasts there, and on the YouTube page, and follow us on Instagram at the Holy Hour Podcast. Following that Facebook page where you can check out extra tidbits of some of the versions of faith we talked about. I'll post links to on there, and we'll post a link to that Foolish Arrangement website that had the transcriptions of every Robert Smith improv vocalings on there. And feel free to drop me any email at gavinconnor@gmail.com if you want to respond to about something or throw out an idea for a show. We would love to hear it. Or if you just want to say hi, always nice to talk with you guys. So, I think that's about it from here. Be sure to check out Chaz's 17-second shirt at 17secondshirts.bigcartel.com, or you can just find him on Instagram at 17_seconds, and see what's up in the moment here. So on top of that, not too much more. Be sure to still check out curenews.net to see what Janie and Chris had come together and posted all that awesome stuff for you guys, and updates are coming regularly. So all kinds of stuff from the vaults there. And we'll catch you next time as we start heading into the end of the second half of November. Oh, take it easy.